Finishing a painting, number one, it's a relief. I've pulled it out of the fire, I've made something of it, thank God. Generally, well before the end of a painting, though, I've started mentally plotting the next one. That's almost invariably the pattern. So I don't get satisfied. I generally look at everything I've finished and think, should have been able to do better than that. Complacency is a terrible danger. You must never allow that to creep in. But I've never even had to think about complacency because almost everything I've done hasn't been good enough. Yeah, that's what it feels like. If I get given this decade of life, maybe by the time I'm 82, I'll start to get decent. The Hawkton Moon painting, just a little modest one. I was working on it when I got the news that Michael King, who's a writer I hugely admired and was very happy to call a friend. The news came that he had throat cancer and that he was going to be lost to us quite quickly. So I was very upset by that, and the painting I was doing, I decided I would give to him, just as a little mark of gratitude for everything he had done, and that I was heir to, really, grateful for what he'd written and how much it had meant to me and helped me. And of course, the story of Michael was very quickly that he actually did get out of. He went into remission. The throat cancer, the tumour, disappeared to everyone's bewilderment. And his wonderful penguin book, The Penguin History of New Zealand, which had sold over 100,000 copies, huge success. He was gifted a holiday by the publisher in gratitude for the success of the Penguin History. And he and his wife were driving up north on this to start this holiday when he was killed in the car crash. So having just been rejoicing at the delivery from the terminal diagnosis, and suddenly he had a future, and he wrote me a letter just before he left, which I've still got, saying how miraculous it had been and how life was going to be from now on and how wonderful it was to be delivered from that sentence. And he died accidentally. So that's Hawkton Moon. Fats, which is a name I've always enjoyed, was painted when I was in my first year of teaching at Cromwell District High. Painting in my weekends when I had free time and after I'd done marking and lesson planning and so on at night. I remember painting it and thinking what a great name it was for the painting, to call it Fats, which is what the shearers had written on the weatherboards outside when they had done their daily tally of how many sheep they'd shorn, by hand no doubt, because it was very old stuff. And someone had written in coloured chalk on the weatherboard, something, I forget the number, but it was Fats, and that was the type of sheep they had been shearing that day. I always felt it was an extraordinary thing that on paper, on 2 dimensions, you could reproduce in some way the real world. So I never had any wish other than to work in what has become known as a form of realism. I do still find it quite miraculous what you can do on the end of a brush, really, and what paint can do. I've always felt that just being a painter was an immense privilege, really. What a way to spend a life. And then you've got the evidence of that life in everything you've made, every stepping stone every month of my life is charted in paintings.